Did you know? Halloween is almost here. Horror, dread, fear, cringe. All of these things the Day of the Dead has in common with indie horror. You may recall me swearing off the juices of jump scares, the powder of playables, the ganj of games. But after months of rehab, I am back. And today I'm doing my last step of Indie Horrors Anonymous, which is, of course, to make an indie horror tier list. This is the official, inarguable, absolute, indisputable, inarguable, incredible, perfect indie horror tier list. Get ready. Whoa, come on! First things first, an absolute classic, an obscure pioneer. And if you don't know it, well, you just don't know that much. The Jesus of hump scares, the progenitor of phantasms, Slenderman. Bro, Slenderman is legit scary for like 20 minutes if you're doing the reefer. I remember when it came out. I think it was around the same time Caitlyn Jenner did. Are you feeling nostalgic? I know I am. It's an MLG thing. Slenderman made every skinny person feel bad about themselves for the first time in their lives because being slender was finally uncool. Taylor Swift cried into her dollar bills, and that one guy from The Office tried to seppuku himself. Us corn-fed people finally found our place in the world. And it was with these trees with really interesting fungus.
These trees have fungus on them. I don't know if trees really have this much fungus. Like this many trees with this much fungus? This is some bullshit.
With fungi like that and those beautiful trees, there's nothing else I can do but put Slenderman up in A tier. Tree respects tree, you know? You gotta pay your respects to the grandfather of indie horror. Next up is this game I found from this obscure guy who used to play video games. I think his name was Markiplier. He's kind of disappeared now, but from what I hear, he's shorter in person than you'd expect. He introduced me to a title called, what was its name again?
Crap, you nincompoop, it's called Amnesia! Oh, I get it!
Amnesia The Dark Descent sounds like a horror movie where a dude makes some whoopee with a girl and forgets his entire past because her vagine sucked out his memories like a vihaha vacuumaha. But it's actually a completely mind-breaking and terrifying experience. Amnesia is savage, yo. You have a lantern, and your character gets scared and goes crazier than a hippo on Adderall. The actual illness that is amnesia would be a gift from the gods after playing this scream-inducing mind-f***oid. And not just because it raises the special defense of your slow bro. I got you, Gen 1ers. Ironically, you likely forgot amnesia in place of psychic. And that's what I'm gonna be calling you if you placed Amnesia in F tier. Good games don't make good indie horror titles. If it actually scares you, it can't get above C tier. What? You think this is an actual horror game tier list? Figure it out.
Fuck, figure it out. That's what I say, so figure it out.
Here's one you've been waiting for. Five Nights at Freddy's. The first in the series. The Prime Meridian. The Uno of animatronic games. Mike Schmidt, baseball player and security guard extraordinaire, stars in the main role as you sit in a chair in a Chuck E. Cheese while enjoying a light breeze. Games, books, movies, toys. FNAF 1 has spawned an entirely new alternate universe that the internet and your kid brother were like really into. For 6 months, I had no desire to cover it, but the call for the high was too much. Freddy is my daddy, and I love what he does to me. That's the incredible power of one mind of one Scott Cawthon. But let's talk about the game. Originally, I rejected it because it looked stupid and uninteresting. Animatronic bears, cheap jump scares. Usually I'm into autistic stuff, but this was just too much. The animatronics are the main draw. You have Clifford the Big Red Dog, the Easter Bunny, Smokey the Bear, and Big Bird. How Scott got the IPs, I'll never know. Honestly, this game isn't even fun, which is the best part. The game's being underwhelming and annoying actually means FNAF gets S tier, because that's what works with indie horror. The more you hate something, the more legit and MLG it is. That's why gamers break keyboards. But really, that's why indie horror was born on YouTube surrounding mediocre gameplay, because nobody wanted to actually play these games unless they got paid. Speaking of S tier indie horror, let's talk about Hello Neighbor. In this game, you run around trying to do stuff while figuring out the story and avoiding this dude with a mustache. Honestly, it's genius, because the story is all figured out. It's just never told to you. So smart. Also, the physics in this game is so realistic that NASA uses it to train astronauts. That's why the Challenger exploded, because let's get real, the physics is so bad on its own merit it qualifies Hello Neighbor for S tier. But Hello Neighbor focuses on real issues like death and depression, which are actually pretty interesting. Depth in an indie horror game is a big no-no, but fortunately, developer Tiny Build balanced an intriguing idea with weird puzzles that are annoying. That's why a clock with 12 numbers takes 16 stuffed animals to get to noon. The math is strong with this one. I'm gonna slip Hello Neighbor into A tier for alpha because it plays like it never left alpha. Also, it's not scary at all, which is good because indie horror games shouldn't be scary. They should just make you jump a little bit. Suck it up, neighbor. Just because your wife and kids died doesn't mean you get to have an eternal struggle. Get good. MLG 360. No family. Ugh, they're all dead. A tier. Great job, Tiny Build. Dogs, so many good games and so many more to go. Next up, Bendy the Ink Machine. Marketed specifically for the MLG crew, Bendy is the Dark Souls of walking simulators. You can only get the lore through stuff you find in the game and environmental clues. It's pretty hardcore. I also really liked the mechanic where you walk excruciatingly slowly unless you hold down the sprint button, so I literally had to hold down the shift key all the time for hours on end and there was no way to change it. Also, the cutscenes are really ambiguous, so in order to figure out what's going on, you have to be stupid smart. I'm gonna give it a C, because even though this game has style, I feel like the walking could have been more realistic. Now, I've got a bone to pick with this next game. This is a game that had everyone so excited about spaghetti that they could only say bon appetit. That's the kind of humor you can expect from Undertale. Sans, dude? Don't you know Sans? He started the Fortnite dance trend with Turk from Scrubs. But that's only one of the revolutionary aspects of this man-made monolith. The choices you make matter. That's right. It's like you really feel like you're the Undertale. And don't even get me started on Megalovania. That's some megalomania if you've got BPD leveled out, you know. Undertale mixes mega pyromania with mega kleptomania, egomania, balletomania, and murderous zoomania to create a world we needed to experience. And yes, those are real words. It's the apex of terror. Undead run rampant. You're basically in hell, though the true hell is in online forums about Undertale. The skeletons make skelepuns, fart jokes, and metrosexual robots are abound. Cooking shows, choices in droves, and the color use is smarter than that kid you knew in kindergarten who used to sniff glue but now runs a Fortune 500 company. But yeah, the profound darkness of the genocide run, the literal out-of-the-box thinking on Pokemon-esque type combat. I can tell this game was made with passion and not just to maximize profit, so I'm gonna give it a D. Also, Toby Fox never bothered to confirm that Rousey is a girl, even though she totally is, so... Moving on, we have a classic. Baldi's Basics in Education and Learning. This game sucks so much. It's not fun. It's not interesting. It's not cool. It's not funny. It's bad and stupid and for stupid people. I hate Baldi's Basics when I think about it. I actually want to blow my own head off, but with a pellet gun so it'd be extra painful and take a long time. The gameplay is utterly excruciating, and if you get caught, which is often beyond your control, you have to start all over again. Then if you win, you get less than nothing. But that's what you expect most out of popular indie horror games. I can't think of a more perfect representation, so I'm gonna make a new tier just for Baldi. We'll call it double S tier for double suicide. I'm just gonna slide you up there, Mr. Baldi. Good job. Now it's time for the lightning round. Little Nightmares. Little Nightmares was actually good, so I'm gonna give it a D. That's all for this tier list. We're all out of time. We have a lot more games that we can totally get to, so vote with what you want down below. Remember, this is the official, inarguable, absolute, indisputable, conclusive, perfect indie horror tier list. Galactic Dolphin approved. Also, since you made it this far, congratulations. I have a present for you. Like really. I just came out with a video on my own personal channel called Could Ghosts Be Real? I know I've done a lot of weird trolly stuff on this channel lately, but this is actually for real. I look deeply into ghosts. Could they be real? How does reality really work? The answer might be stranger than you think. Check it out. Click right here. Bye. I'll see you over there.